The look on your face just now is staring at me. Are we going outside? Oh, T-Rex sleeping in the closet? Come on, let's go, Rex. Oh, it's time to start the day. It's gonna be a warm one. Very comfortable right now, though. And I'm really pleased with how much wind there is or is not. Come on. Almost there, Steve. Come on, let's go. That's more like it. Very good. T-Rex is waiting. Seems like nice peace and quiet in the backyard. How about disturbing the peace, T-Rex? That's more like it. Yeah, who needs peace and quiet? Oh, this feels good. Feels like suddenly summer. And we've got a bluer sky, cleaner air. So different than sunrise yesterday. Chuck Stockdale got this image from Laconia, New Hampshire. He says, I could smell the smoke yesterday. And also commenting on the YouTube, Tom in Farmington, New Hampshire also could smell the smoke. Well, I could see it, but I couldn't smell it. And now the blue sky, or mostly blue sky, is back in New England. This morning, just past 8 o'clock, we're already passing 70 degrees. Steve is out the door. I'll close the door behind you, Steve. Long line to get out there. Gorgeous. Where's the wind? Why is there no wind? What is wind? Steve going right after the birds. All right. Wind, of course, is air moving from high to low pressure. We've got a surface map that shows a couple of cold fronts there and a couple of blue H's. And the solid line is an isobar, and there's only one isobar over New England. So we have a very slack pressure gradient. But I think as that front comes in from the west and north, the air is going to pick up from the west. You can see these boats are all pointed toward the west. And if the wind comes in from the west, Boston may have its first 90-degree day of the season. But it's very lake gradient, and it could just as easily be a sea breeze. I think there was one day in New England we already had hit 90 on April 19th. Remember that, the day before Easter? Even as it was snowing in Vermont, it was 89 degrees in Hartford and Westfield on the day before Easter. I remember that. What about this morning? Temperature started off 7 o'clock in the morning. Already 70 degrees in Burlington, Vermont, and Worcester, Massachusetts. And the blue numbers are dew points, so the dew point is coming up. But as far as heat and humidity go, it's a one-day touch and go with this heat. And the dew point is going to come up. You see some 60s on there already. So yeah, I think today could be classified as hot and humid in the Boston and vicinity area. But it's only going to be one day in a row. There is a front coming in. We've been talking about it forever. We've had Friday fronts forever. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the first dry Thursday morning we've had in more than a month. And we're on this streak where Monday, sky's clear, Tuesdays are nice, Wednesdays are nice, and then it seems to want to rain on Thursday. Yeah, so we're on a streak of weather where it's nice in the middle of the week. And the front coming in tomorrow, there it is, crossing New England from west to east. It doesn't look like much, right? But that's a backdoor front in Boston. The temperature tomorrow morning may be in the 70s, and then in the afternoon in the 60s. Wow. Here's the Boston meteogram from the Euro. And there's today. It doesn't show 90, but often these hot days are underdone by the guidance. And I think we are 90 in Boston today. The dew point's coming up, and then tomorrow, big change in the forecast. I mean, it looked like it was going to be in the 80s a couple days ago, but now it looks like the wind is going to shift and come in from the east in the afternoon. So the temperature of 73 at 11 a.m. could be down to 63 by sunset at 8 p.m. And it'll probably come with low-level fog and low-level cloud, which is fog, and showers, and a chance of a thunderstorm. Air up in the sky is going to be coming from the southwest. Air down low is going to come from the east. And then the Euro shows the air coming around from the southwest again on Saturday, but I don't think so. I mean, this is a really tough forecast for where this front is going to go. And it shows the clouds thinning out over the weekend with also showers likely, especially Saturday and maybe not so much Sunday. But the temperature's not really rebounding, is it? Kind of stays down until about, next Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, wait, even then it's not that warm. It shows more rain. Next Thursday tries to warm up again. So it's a very low confidence forecast with the position of this front. It's a high confidence that today is mostly sunny and beautiful. The satellite image shows that it's not a very strong storm, but it's a huge storm center over the Atlantic Ocean, about 500 miles to our east. And you can see the smoke plume has wrapped around that. Immediately surrounding that low, there's some clear sky. Then there's a band of smoke, so bands of smoke rotating around that ocean system. And with the front coming at us from the west and also watching that warm front over South Carolina, I think our air coming from that direction is going to be more smoke free for a couple of days until we get that west-northwest flow coming back in a few days from the direction of the fires in Canada. Let's use, first, another temperature reading this morning from 7 a.m. at 3,300 feet on Mount Washington. You know it's a warm air mass. As the sun comes up, you're 72 degrees halfway up the Otto Road on Mount Washington, where Kate, frequent viewer from southeastern Massachusetts, went up Mount Washington yesterday with a group of friends. Thank you for sharing this nice image, Kate. Good day for getting up the top of a mountain on such warm weather. And someone was skiing, or riding anyway, snowboarder. The snowfields up high, above Tuckerman Headwall. So it's not only Tuckerman that you ski, there are these other snow patches, and there they are. From another perspective, the snow patch in Tuckerman, there's a patch above Tuckerman, and then there's one snow field just below the Otto Road in the upper right there. So there are still some patches of snow in New England, but I think we're done snowing until next autumn. You never know for sure. All right, so the forecast for today is for showers and thunderstorms developing, and the National Severe Storm Prediction Center has us in a stripe now. This has changed since yesterday. The Severe Storm Prediction Center says there's a marginal chance for severe weather here today. That would be a thunderstorm with damaging wind. And again tomorrow. So those are both upgrades from yesterday's output. And while we're talking about output, one more thing from the National Hurricane Center. There is no longer a little yellow X near Florida or South Carolina. The National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center has said, we're not that concerned about that becoming a subtropical storm anymore, but it's still going to be an entity that's going to be tracking to the south of New England and a moving target for us, that low that's off to our south. Also, you can see the rain on this radar, and there's rain coming at us from the south and rain coming at us from the west. All right, now let's go to the NAM from last night, middle of the night output, and it shows dry this morning, and then you see just a couple of specks developing this afternoon with a shower and a thunderstorm, but they're localized heavy showers and thunderstorms crossing from southwest to northeast over Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and then they kind of die down, but then they flare up again. Now tomorrow, it's hard to see, but there's a front sinking from north to south, and there's going to be a wind shift and more showers and thunderstorms developing in central and southern New England tomorrow, as the air is going to come in from the northeast at the surface, but the showers and storms are moving towards the northeast. So in other words, down on the ground, air from the northeast, and up in the sky, air from the southwest. It's confusing, isn't it? That's overrunning, and that often means fog and cool air in the coastal region of New Hampshire and Massachusetts, maybe a little brighter in Maine, but this goes out to now Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. The front is south of us. Look, there's a low, a weak low. I don't think it's that one from South Carolina, but there's a weak low south of New England, so that's an easterly flow. So even though it doesn't show much rain there by midday Saturday, this is 2 p.m. on Saturday, there's going to be low-level moisture. It looks like the day started wet on Cape Cod, and the fog is going to be tough to burn off on Saturday, but not a washout. It's really hit or miss. Here's the QPF on who gets the most rain. Yesterday, it was distinctly aimed at Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and now it's a little less so for Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Still some purples in there, but now we're starting to see the purples show up in central and southern New England. And then this also goes out to 2 p.m. on Saturday, and at that time, precipitation may have shut down, and here's how much we've picked up. You see any spots there in the darker blue are a ½ inch, and any purple is over an inch. So there could be some isolated ½ inch to an inch. Looks like hit or miss. It's like a rainfall lottery, as we talk about. T-Rex, everything okay? What you see over there? All right, and the Euro. All right, the circus of the GFS is now it has a hurricane running up the East Coast from Florida to New England on June 18 and 19. So that's out around days 15 and 16. There's always a hurricane from the GFS in 2 weeks. Every day. But in 2 weeks never arrives. My point is that the GFS is always trying to push a hurricane somewhere into the United States, and it loses it within a week. So that's why we're using the Euro. The Euro has no sign of any hurricane out there June 18th or 19th. So here's the Euro for now. Now we do still see a low pressure system coming up off Virginia, and it looks like most of that just wants to stretch off and miss us to the south here as the front settles from north to south in New England with showers and thunderstorms off and on. The heat turns off tomorrow, and then the Euro would have the heat kind of staying off, even though some of the other guidance has the air trying to warm up again over the weekend. But it looks like we're going to have sort of an onshore flow with showers and thunderstorm continuing there Saturday. Of course, it's a Saturday. That'll be the 14th one in a row with rain in New England. And then on Sunday, it's still looking better, still uncertain about the low-level moisture, whether it gets pushed out of here. It's a more stable atmosphere at that time, cooler air coming in. That cooler air, though, stabilizes us, but it may not be able to wring out the moisture. So there may be some clouds around and a chance of a shower. And then Monday, the upper level low going across Ontario is going to be spinning some more energy in our direction. Monday, probably quiet. And here's a change. It looks like downpours and showers on a Tuesday. And there may be a wave on that front. That's going to be a tough call, but some rain is possible in most of New England with the temperature trying to spike back up and then fall back down again Wednesday night and Thursday. And now this is a different look. We talked about yesterday, Friday, the 13th. There it is, showing now cooler. Yesterday it looked like it was going to be in sunny and hot, and now it looks like there's a front right over, a sun and a storm, and a little less hot, and then that front gets south of us, and here comes another Saturday. Now this is Saturday, June 14th, and look at this, another low pressure system coming towards southern New England. Now it would have us dry most of that day, Saturday the 14th, but that is a close one with 7 millibar low over New Jersey. That would cause a wind from the east and northeast with rain coming into New York, and that rain will probably scrape along the south coast, as if this is really going to happen. I'm joking because it's day 10 and things are going to change so much. Yesterday it looked like it was going to be sunny and hot on Friday the 13th, and now it looks like sun and storms. So there's a front nearby, and this front is going to be nearby pretty much the most part of the next 10 days. And as for coast to coast QPF, here's the amount of rain, and there's still some elevation snow happening in the northwest and parts of eastern Canada, but for most of us, we're done with that. So this is just a H2O. Heaviest rain, it looks like it's going to move from the central plains and Texas kind of in our direction, and you also see a kind of tropical or subtropical conduit of heavier rain just off of South Carolina, mostly south of Nantucket. And this goes out to 240 hours, same out to June 14th. And if we close in a little toward the northeast, you do see some purples on there and even some yellows. That would be 2 to 4 inches of rain over the next 10 days altogether. And the Euro says very little on Cape Cod, which makes sense in a summer sense, where usually the showers and thunderstorms die before they get to Cape Cod, but there may be some waves that we're not getting correct that could go south of Cape Cod. So I'd include Cape Cod in the potential of 1 to 2 inches of rain in the next 10 days. All right, are we done with the weather? I think we are done with the weather. T-Rex looking pretty serious over here. He loves sitting in the sun. Steve, right underneath the bird feeder, but I didn't put the seed in the feeder yet, so I don't think he's caught anything. And I'll back him off a little bit. And the end more from yesterday, watching them put up the forums, and we're gonna have several time lapse. It's a time lapse bonanza, a lot of editing, so that's why we're late today. because there's a lot of editing and waiting for the sailboat races to begin yesterday. I saw the sailboats going out, but I never saw the race, so I'm not sure what happened with the sailboat race. What happened with that yesterday, Kevin? And do you have gray or black sails now? So there are the sailboats, and what a beautiful day. And I think there is enough breeze for a sail today, and then tough call over the next several days. All right, I'm looking down here. We've been dry for a couple of days, but you still have water coming out of the side of the hill from all the rain we've had. But they took down all of that knotweed yesterday, that knotweed. And so they're on it. The Weymouth Big Dig continues. Here's the and more from our yesterday, Wednesday, June 4th. Not easy working in this weather. Dog days of summer already. Although with our smoky sky, I think instead of being 83, it would be about 87 right now. And no matter how hard you're working, someone else is working harder. Team trying to pump out the river out of their forms, building forms today on the Weymouth Big Dig. Hot day here in the Gulf of Weymouth. Trying to stop the knotweed, unstoppable knotweed. .30, 83 degrees. Can feel the heat. Good progress here. Feel the summertime. Viewers pointing out, Storm Chaser, Kate saying, yeah, that smoke in the sky maybe is keeping us a couple degrees cooler today. That's possibly true. Maybe it would be 86 or 87 by now. And the smoke is thinning in western New England, so maybe we're getting thinner smoke for sunset. Always working on the knotweed. Can't beat the knotweed. Though I have a pretty good success rate with my rescue gardens, not everything can be rescued. That Alberta spruce came out, the ground was frozen, no place to put it. Ground didn't defrost until late April. I put it in, it was too late. The euonymus just to its left survived, but we need this space for tomatoes. So say goodbye to the sticks. Great workout. It's only about a half hour, but a lot of calories. We get to see the forms get loaded, or the form frames get loaded too. Next up, put some tomatoes in. A lot of people have people. Yeah, it was only 23 minutes. A lot of people have people for their gardens. What fun would that be? Heron. Snowy egret and heron. I call them the same thing. Blue jay. 2.3 times zoom. Taking my gloves off. 0.5 zoom. There it is. The one that did not survive. Bummer. And Doug still finding Christmas lights. And worms, tons of worms. A lot of healthy ones in there. That guy. Come on, I know he's alive. There he is. I just had to wake him up a little. Think this is the last of those Christmas lights, Doug? How many decades ago? Just like when you Clean up after taking down your tree around New Year's and you're still finding pine needles on July 4th. Well, this light was put on in about 2002. Look at you now. Sad, but it had to happen. You see me? Going for a little 5 o'clock ride. Oh, it just changed, but I had 90 on the dashboard thermometer a second ago. Almost time for live at 5. Yeah, it's an old car. I'm not replacing all those sensors. There's Beth. Hello, Beth. How you doing? This suddenly summer day. Looking good. Yeah, it's the month of the strawberry moon, but I think it could just as easily be called the rose moon. Roses are in bloom. Where is the moon? It's up there behind the smoke somewhere. You see it? It's the same color as the smoke. Summer shack. Time to take the shrink wrap off and launch Summer Shack. All right, there they go, heading out for the Wednesday evening Twilight Series sailboat race. I think this is the 3rd week. Is that right, Kevin? Good breeze. All at 10 knots from the south. And crew of the Black Seal getting ready right there. T-Rex. Where do you want to go next? Looks like the smoke might be thinning out a little bit. And what a perfect evening for sailing. Is that you, Kevin? The 6 o'clock data from the Boston buoy was 190 degrees at 10 knots. NAM did a great job with that. So I just told you what the NAM was going to say. Gull with a prize. 7 p.m. Sun's getting lower. Doing my best on the seed here. And I apologize if I've been misidentifying sailboats. I've seen quite a few in the last couple of hours. And about the same amount of smokiness as last night. So we kind of maxed out in the smoke department this morning for this round anyway. But I can't really see a regatta. This boat that I'm pretty sure I misidentified is having fun. Just going back and forth. Nice. Oh yeah, and those helicopters I told you about go by every night for sunset. There somewhere. Alright, little time lapse. And in the time lapse, I'm gonna be replanting tomatoes and just not paying attention, so. That didn't work. No sign of a regatta. We got a smoky sunset sailor. I think I know who it is, but I'm not positive enough to unzoom it. Not easy. There we go. So the smoke is thinning. And I think we might have a rainbow. What do you think? I think I see a rainbow. So we get smoke and rainbows. Oh yeah, and I did just put in those rescue tomatoes. Did not get enough love. They went in as seeds back in February. And planted about 100 and maybe 12 survived. But this is the best loam in Weymouth. Made by TK. You'll probably get a worm, but I don't want to get my hands dirty. But there are tons of worms in here. More on that as we go forward. But I had to reclaim my worm farm from the poor old Alberta spruce. Peony on their last leg. All right, so let's just continue the sunset, and I'm done talking. And happy Thursday. Different tour tomorrow, I think. One of these. Well, I pointed the camera in the wrong direction. The sunset just got better and better and better. My apologies. All right. 15 minutes and 4 seconds. And there it is. Cleaner air from Canada here. I don't know, 8:30 or something. For the first time in my life, built a rabbit slash deer slash rodent cage, which I'm sure you already saw. Not cage, but... Very good. Thanks for watching. Time lapse after time lapse after time lapse.